I'm sorry, what dear? Oh, okay. All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and start. Earl's still fussing around with some video he's doing, but let's go ahead and get going. That's all right. Welcome. You never know with the holiday whether we'll have a big agent turnout or not, but let's just get going and start the day. So, how's everybody doing? Good. What are you guys seeing out there in the market?
Maybe a buyer's market.
You're feeling like it's a buyer's market?
I think it's maybe turned into a buyer's market.
Turning into a buyer's market. How about you? How about the rest of you? Is anyone using Command yet for any lead generation? Are you guys plugged into that?
Of course he is.
Well, Heath is working with me on training some classes, and then what's going to happen? He's going to master it, and then as I send him things like, hey, I'm seeing people getting leads from this and that. So if you guys are struggling on leads, because it's always leads, listings, and leverage. So if you don't have enough leads, there's a lot of opportunity there right now because nobody knows how to do it yet. And then if you don't have enough listings, you have a lot of leads, but you don't have enough listings leads. How could you? What opportunities are there for you? A lot of what I like is the true automation. So as we talk about auto flow and contacting your database, how many people do you have in there, and are you starting to put them on the auto plans? One thing that we saw at MegaCamp was that the market, they keep predicting a recession, and yet we're not seeing it yet. And I'll go over it in a minute once Earl pulls me up. The material that Gary went over about the state of the economy, we're seeing records still on mortgage. And so as long as that is going on and the housing market's so tight and I'll go over in a second here, but the all conditions for a buyer, and this is to your point, Judy, are a fantastic time to buy. Inventory so low still tells us that they'll pay a little extra compared to what they may pay in other markets, right? But the interest rates offset that. And that's really why the Fed keeps the interest rates like that. And the new construction trying to catch up with that demand. And the affordability is the words that we use. So if a client tells you, hey, how's the market? You can look at it several different ways. Your answer can be multiple facets there. Sometimes it depends on the neighborhood you're in. And yet it always has to do with affordability. And people will buy houses when they have jobs and when they can afford the payment. Do you want me to use this quicker?
I was trying to save it because the video is corrupted the video.
Do I think that's you?
It's
Okay, he's still second.
We'll make that
Is it just an argument with you? Oh, right. Okay.
So our videos aren't there for whatever reason.
Okay, so guys, there's the stuff that I'm going to go over with you regarding the state of the market that Gary went over with us at convention a couple weeks ago. There's about a 37-minute video that you can watch, which was the live stream where what's nice is what they've been doing at Family Reunion and MegaCamp recently is taking all that content and chunking it down into shorter videos that we could actually go watch. So the State of the Market one is only 37 minutes, and really what Gary wanted us to know is a couple of things about the state of the actual housing market all across the nation, and he goes into Canada as well in that video, and then what is happening with the next revolution of the industry. And so it's basically like we're having a shift. We're pointing towards a recession, and yet we're not really seeing it yet. Even the stock market is strong, the tariff things will affect it, and then right now, at any time, something could happen that would change it. But as we look over the next couple of years, the things that'll affect you guys' businesses the most is the industry changes, not necessarily the economic changes. So Rhonda put this nice affirmations in as we go through, always talking about gratitude and affirmations. The passion I have for my work enables me to create real value. The passion I have for my work enables me to create real value. I thought that is beautiful, and when you are talking about whether or not you provide value and you're asking yourself that, what a daily check-in, right? And I just love it. I was in New York last weekend, and Greg won a free trip to New York, and we got to go to Broadway, and we got to go to a tennis match, and we went to 9/11, and I had been in New York since 9/11, but I had not been since the memorial was built. And that, have you guys been?
Yes.
Ground Zero.
Very sobering.
And the power that you feel and the gratitude of our country and our world, and what value, what a gift life is.
Yeah.
And what value do we bring every day in those days where we're not sure that we're bringing value and you're checking in, am I not? Your passion, your value, your affirmations around that, not believing necessarily what you hear, but knowing who you are inside. Anybody else like to feel that? I'm talking about? Thank you, Rhonda, for sharing that.
Blank slide. It's some video.
Okay. Well, on my prayer requests, I want to start with Karen Gordy. Are you guys getting to know Karen Gordy? She's such a delightful girl, and she is joined Gail Kane's team. She's been struggling with her father's health, and she passed away last night. So I really want to lift her up in our prayers today. No, Robin,
Oh, God, we're still praying for Catherine Mayer.
Kathy Mayor's mom's recovering though. She's doing well.
Continued strength for her. And then Jennifer Wheeler, we have a praise report. Her heart, she got the report back last week that her heart's continuing to strengthen.
Awesome.
And so we just need to continue to pray for that to keep going, keep getting stronger, so she can eventually be off medicine and have a fully working heart again. Shelly's Aunt Vera is going through chemo right now.
Yes.
And
How's
so-
she doing, Shelly?
She is just doing okay. She's waiting on some results right now, so, yeah.
We pray for those to come out good. Trisha Ellis's mother is still battling pancreatic cancer and under treatment, so keep Trisha's mom and family in our prayers. And then Karen Gordy, of course. And then Matt Moak, how's your back doing?
Sorry.
It's all right. It's a back, right?
How you doing, Matt?
We're praying for you anyways.
Anyone else have anything? Anybody have any prayer requests or?
I mean, I've got a couple of, my sister-in-law's mom has gone home on hospice with lung, liver, kidney. She's just giving up. It's been a couple of years. She's been fighting. So, and then my friend Angie, one of my besties, she's in the hospital right now. She's going through chemo. She had sepsis, and now her kidney's not functioning properly, and she had a PICC line installed so that they can give her nutrition, but it's just
What's her name?
Angie.
Okay.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
and my brother-in-law, also the one who was going through the issues with his, what did I say? I can't even remember now. Anyway, he's getting additional tests this morning, and blood work. My sister actually just texted me. He's going to possibly be doing a clinical trial of some new medicine that they have. So, yeah.
Tricia in Huntsville, her mother, who is stage 4, pancreatic cancer, her doctor said that they weren't going to do treatment, but now they've been contacted by somebody that wants to do clinical trials. So we'll see where that goes. And also her grandmother went last week, or I guess Thursday, she has a pinched nerve in her back, and the doctor was going to do an injection to block the pain, and it paralyzed her for 2 days. So
Yikes.
anyway, but she's getting better. I mean,
Wow.
yeah.
That sounds very scary.
Yeah, and the bad thing is the pain didn't go away. So, so anyway, those are the two.
Well, I posted a thing with my sister recently. My sister was so close to passing away. She was stage 4B, they called it, metastasized cancer, and she was a shell of herself, and now she's hitting her 4th year cancer-free, big, bushy, long, curly hair. So a lot of you guys have met her, and she's all plump and chunky now. So cute. So let's keep those prayers going. In fact, Shelly, you want to lead us?
Sure. God, thank you for this day. Thank you for your love and your mercy and your grace. Thank you that when we pray, we can be assured that you do hear our prayers, God. We lift up every person who was mentioned this morning who's needing healing or provision in any area, God, and those who maybe weren't mentioned, those unspoken prayers that are here this morning. We pray that you would meet every need, God, and that you would give peace and comfort to those who need it, that you would heal those who need healing. And thank you, God, for provision in every area. You're a good, good God. Even when life is hard, God, you're the only constant in our life that never changes. Remind us of that. Renew our hope, restore our faith, God, and help us to just look forward with a great and hopeful expectation of good things to come. We thank you for this, our market center. We thank you for Keller Williams as a whole. Thank you for our family here, God. I pray that you would continue to unify us and help us to expand our businesses and expand our reach, and not only just growing our businesses, but in helping enrich the lives of the people around us, God. We thank you and we praise you in Jesus' name. Amen. Thank you.
Okay, so Highland, Linda, tell us a little bit about Highland. I want you to speak more towards the end, but give us a little idea about what the community we're in.
Woodforest is it's probably about an 8-year-old community. It's about 10 years old total. It's kind of it was started off by the people that actually were part of the Woodlands. And the main architect here is Virgil, and he actually started the Woodlands. And he's the guy that made this so similar to what the Woodlands is. It has a look and the feel of the Woodlands. So if you have buyers that are looking at being in Woodlands but want new construction or want newer construction, you know, this is going to be it. It's got the the pools, we've got the hike and bike trails. In the summer, you'll see kids driving around in the golf carts all the time, because it's on a golf course as well. Okay, the community itself really goes from like the 240s, just a few of them, all the way up to the $1 million homes. And we've got 4 years left. You know, what you're in right now in this section, as you can tell, it's a brand new section, is the highest level of Woodforest. It's the highest elevation. And that's why they call it the crest. We'll have our own little monument up here. Highland has a section here, over there what you're looking at, which is the larger section, and then we've got another section, which is my section, the smaller section. My section goes from the 240s to the 310s. Hunters will go from the 320s or 340s or 350s up to the 400s. Okay?
So affordable prices.
Yeah, so Hunter and I, hey Hunter? Can you call Hunter in here? Hunter and I, we feel like, hey, Hunter.
I thought you were still doing your meeting.
Well, we are. I
Yeah.
just kind of stopped that.
So Hunter and I.
We paused, sorry.
We share all of Woodforest, and we feel like we've got a product here for everybody. We've got it from the 250s all the way up to the 450s, 500s, and then we have another section, the Huntington, which is from the 7+. So if you have a buyer that's really looking to be up in this section, up in Woodforest, I would highly encourage you to get to Highland Homes. We have an amazing realtor program. We pay 3% through your first deal, 4% and 5% thereafter for a calendar year. So, and then we have parties all throughout that we're giving away hundreds of thousands of dollars, and then we do a big trip every year. Monday we're getting ready to go to Hotel California for a 4-day trip on Highland. And any realtor sold 3 homes or more in the calendar year are invited to go to that trip, plus their spouse. Okay.
And they rent out the whole hotel, so it's no one else.
Yeah, hotel,
Just-
the whole hotel. And they send you do spa days, and Hunter's gonna go on kayak the Channel Islands. I'm gonna go whale watching. Susan's gonna go whale watching. And there's a wine tour. But you get to pick what you wanna do. And they spare no expense. Okay, so it's super cool. We love it. Donna's got a Highland home. We take care of our buyers. We do a good job. We treat these people like kids. We make sure if they have a problem. I have a buyer I sold a house to a couple of years ago and called me today, and he's having some issue. I called my superintendent and I sent an email to our project manager, and it was not a big deal. And oh my gosh, I said, guys, just go over there and talk to him and see what we can do. And they both went over there. And we just want to make sure we get referrals, and we get a lot of referrals out here. Because and our buyer out here, my buyers come from the Woodlands. They're looking at downsizing. And they're looking at getting out of their 30-year-old homes because their kids are growing and their grandkids are getting older and they want something newer. So they're looking at downsizing. And then Hunter has a lot of kids, a lot of families that come in.
Well, here's one thing, a lot of people say perception, oh, we're far out sometimes. I know you guys kind of cover the whole north area. That doesn't really work as well as much as it used to in the sense of giving examples. Half my buyers this year are moving laterally in the community. You don't do that if that's too far, you don't love a community. It's very rare to have a community that's so popular that people go, I'm just gonna go move, downsize or upsize. And so I'll get a step-up buyer, or I get a lot of people that are going from the $4,000 and $5,000 homes going to a 2,700 square foot one story. That shows you how much people love the community. When people say, oh, it's too far, if we never drive them here, bring the community to fall in love with it, they might find out it's not as far. I used to live in Cypress, and it took longer when I lived in Cypress, which was a lot closer to downtown and to the heights and all that, to go everywhere in there than it does now that I live up here, because traffic flow is a lot better up here. So I try not to eliminate things, or because I even said the same thing when I got transferred up here. I'm like, man, this community is too far. Now I live up here because I found love in settling up here. So it just kind of gives you an idea that just because it's far to us might not be a sacrifice for a customer. The other thing I hit home with people too, because we're not right on top of the freeway, we're an incredibly safe community. You don't have a cut through to come in, cut through this to go to another commercial development. You see kids in here, 7, 8, 9, every day on their bikes, unaccompanied by adults. That's unheard of in most master plan communities. You're like, oh, I never let my kid do that. Everybody lets their kid do that here. Plus, it's golf cart friendly.
Yes, golf cart. Kids are driving around the golf carts all summer long. It's super
A
fun.
little scary, but yeah, they're everywhere.
You know the neat thing
Do
about
they
it?
have a course for these children?
Just mom and dad.
No, right on the side of the
Require
road.
them to take some sort of safety course or something?
I wish that was the case.
Give them a little license or something?
Yeah, exactly. But you know, this is a multi-generational community, I gotta tell you. I have grandparents moving up here because their kids are up here. I got kids moving up here because their parents are up here. So it's kind of a neat deal. It's got a good family feel. And it's a lot like the Woodlands. And with the 4 lanes going through 2978 getting complete, you know, it's gonna be, I think this is gonna be the community to be in another year, because it's gonna be so easy access. And we've got a grocery store coming up, Harvest Market.
Nice.
That's super awesome. That'll be open, what, about 5 months, 6 months?
Probably April,
Yeah,
yeah.
sometime in that. So- And Susan's actually joining us, and she is from North Grove. And North Grove is off 2978 as well. And she sells, you know, in her product line, who's from the 250s on.
240s. So, I appreciate Linda and Hunter letting me visit today. Linda and I are
Hey
marketing.
guys, why don't you come over here so that we've got cameras on you, that the people that are watching remotely can see you.
Oh,
Linda and I are marketing partners, so we get out to the offices all the time. I'm in North Grove. We just opened about 6 weeks ago. It's a 3.5-year-old community. We got lots of new builders, so I just wanted to come today to tell you about our new grand opening that we're having. I'm going to leave these flyers here for you. Our developer is Toll Brothers. They're a great developer. It's also a beautiful community like this, just a little bit different location. So if you are one of we love our realtors. We count on you. And if you're trying to work on that second or third or fourth sale where you're getting 4% and 5% commission, you might have buyers in different communities, so it's nice to know the different communities that Highland offers. So be sure and get a map of all the Highland communities, because you'll have buyers all over Houston. So anyway, we're doing a big grand opening. We'd love for you to come out. It's September 19th. Toll Brothers is going to be giving away $5,000. Something every hour for about 4 hours. I'll leave the flyer so that you can take one. And then also all the individual builders in there will be giving away prizes. So it'll be a great event. They'll have golf carts to take you to the different model homes. They'll have food. They'll have a lot of fun things going on. So it'd be a great way to see another community.
And where is it?
In North Grove. It's off of 2978. So it's right behind the Woodlands. So what we're finding is people that you know, are moving in that area. The Woodlands doesn't have the new homes that we have. I've got a 40-foot product line. It's 240 to 300 basically. So what I'm seeing, my buyers are a lot of first-time home buyers. It's a very trendy kind of product. And then the other thing I'm seeing is retirees, not my age, empty nesters, but just a little bit older that are downsizing from the 3,500 that want to get in around 2,000 square feet. That they may be a little bit older and don't want, they still want to live in a home, but they don't want to have all the maintenance and things. And so anyway, well, we're so glad you came today, and I'll leave these for you and some of my cards if you have any other questions, and come visit us in North Grove as well.
Awesome. Well, thanks for hosting us. And we can have you come back and talk again in a minute if you want to and look at inventory. I just know Highland, if you guys haven't sold a Highland, great customer service. I know Linda really well, and she's really goes to bat for the clients here. So you guys are aware that the seller's disclosure changed, yes?
Yes.
You know when?
September 1st.
September 1st, right? Surprise! Woohoo! You get a s'more, and you get a s'more. So are you guys using your seller's disclosure after this date, right? Most of the new language in it has to do with the flood, or flooding, okay? Tiffany doing real estate transactions for you guys, especially as you transitioned into command. You can pay her to do some things like listing input if you're ever slammed. So she is in the building for you to hire for that reason. When you guys need it, call her up. Okay, so ALC. Shelly, you want to wait and talk about culture here in a minute, right?
Yep.
Any announcements to make regarding, or you want to just wait completely to?
We can wait, do you want to announce do we want to announce the bowling team? or
Sure.
You want to go ahead and do that? So we're going to get Craig up there to talk about something that's coming up that you guys can join in on.
Hey y'all, so September 19th, we're going to be doing a bowling event. I only need 4 of y'all actually, so
Awesome.
because it's a team of 5. It's $55 a person, so I think it comes out to $275 each.
Well, and I was saying if we wanted to get more together, we could see if we could find a sponsor,
Yeah.
so we don't have to pay the $55.
That'd be really cool, yeah. So anyway, I need to get us registered, so I just need to get 4 of y'all to come do it with me. It's going to be a great time.
And what
Lunch
is
is
it?
included. September 19th, 11 to 3.
And it's with HAR, right?
Yeah, it's for heart, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so it's going to be a good networking event. Craig has his own bowling shoes, so I think that means
I
he's
used to do a lot
supposed
of
to wear
bowling,
those
so.
today.
So he's gonna be the star bowler.
He's going to put that
We'll
together
see.
for us.
I'm
Yeah.
rusty, but
Yeah, so all skill levels welcome,
Yep,
right? It's going to be
absolutely.
a fun time.
Just gonna have a great time, just hang out with everybody, get to, have some fun. We're the fun committee, right?
Yep, we are the fun committee,
Where's it
so
gonna, where are they?
It's gonna be at Bolero, right off of 45.
By Oak Ridge.
Down by Oak Ridge, yeah.
oh, okay, yep.
September 19th, so
And
just,
what time?
And we can always go root on the team if you don't wanna play.
yeah,
Yep.
exactly. So it's 11 to 3 o'clock.
Okay, and did we post the flyer yet in the group?
I did.
I think- I
Yeah,
thought you did.
I put it in there a couple times. I'll repost it for everybody. So
Okay,
let's go have some fun.
yep,
Okay,
awesome,
that's
thank
good.
you.
Absolutely.
So Donna texted earlier this morning, she's probably watching live right now on career development. I've been bringing in pretty steadily each month something for the top producing agents to come and check out. So what I tell you right now is the Ninja series that is starting this week. So we did a business plan. If you guys haven't checked in on your business plan, one of the agents this morning was saying, you'll do your business plan and then not even ever look at it again, right? And then the skills group, 16 weeks of skills groups. I had actually went to organize some of my Ninja material recently, and I thought, wow, this material is so good and so powerful. And if you guys would hit those skills groups once a week, and each week incrementally improve on all your systems and plans, how strong would your end of the year be, your beginning of next year? So perfect time to plug into it, even if you've already done it or haven't done it yet. Skills group 1 that starts in with listings. And then when Marty Miller comes to do Win with Sellers this month. So those would be a couple of things that I would hit. I don't know if you guys know that we're changing locations in Huntsville. So Ruth and some staff have been working hard, Tricia up in Huntsville moving. We merged, the building that Huntsville location has been in for, I don't even know how many years, 15 years, got bought. And so there's opportunity to move and merge into this beautiful office building that Donna Story's team is in. So they've been kind of separated for however long that's been. So Huntsville location moving, and Al Rincon has been generous enough to come up and train us some events. We're talking about maybe doing a mega panel where he might bring somebody from, sometimes the different region right now, the region is really trying to help each other come in and bring training events. You guys get tired of the same people and cross-pollinate, so hopefully we'll get another event going with some people from outside the area, and that's what Brian works hard on. The profit was really good last month, so your profit share checks and that opportunity, moving forward on that. So anyway, get involved in your ALC committees. Your new agent, Holly Grisham. Welcome, Holly. Welcome, Chris McCoy. Congratulations, Beth Gorman on capping. Yay. I love these slides too. Ryan Canada. Okay, all work. Do I keep clicking?
Keep clicking.
Expand, so I like that, to the time, fill the time allowed. I know that we're hearing it from all over the nation that people, kind of fear of change of command. And that's why I thought it's perfect to give you the state of the market and what command is doing, so that as you realize you're kind of slowing down from summer, filling in your time, getting into command and putting your contacts in. Step one, get your contacts in. Once you have a contact in and we can show you a little bit about how to maneuver it, your fear is going to dissipate. So this week's DTD2, we're coming to the end of that series as well. So if you guys know that DTD2 is putting your contact in letter groups. Command is wonderful because you can tag that letter group, set it on a quarterly plan, and it does it for you. It's going to save you so much time and stress. So I would say consider putting your letter groups in as you put your contacts in. Okay? One Thing Book Club. How have you guys been feeling about that? It's such good material. I've read it, and I think it's a life-changing book. And just opening back up and realizing, I noticed at Mega Camp that almost every person on stage referred to it. Mm-hmm. It's such an integral part of the language, and really it's, when we reread the Millionaire Real Estate Agent book recently, there's so much content that came from that, as Gary wrote this one too. So you can just hop in. A lot of that book is kind of highlighted for you and underlined for you, so as if we can zoom in and or have it in the market center. And the agents are just loving pretty good participation on this one, and it's a short book. It's not going to take forever. I think we'll only have a few more sessions of it.
It is easy to read.
It's easy to read, and as we go through and highlight it in 30 minutes, even if you haven't really read it, you get it while you're sitting there reading it. So recommend you guys come into that, and then just starts right after it. 9 to 10 skills group. Number 1, the pre-listing interview. So on your handouts, you've got we pulled area 19 for your KW stats that I like to show you each team meeting just to keep it fresh. And then your Ninja Skills Groups list, your pre-listing interview, your listing consultation, your pricing conversations, your questions that you're asking your clients. All of that in 1 hour. And then the principals classes, there's 4 of those right afterwards. I just would love to see you guys put some energy behind that. So why you'll love command. This is just some content that we liked. Organize deals by stage. So you put a client in there, if you have a contact in there, and they're a contact. And then one day you have an appointment with them. They go active, under contract, and closed. Boom, boom, boom. You just move them through these stages really easily. Customize each stage by adding unique steps or checklists. Your checklists that you'll say, I go order photography, or I send the stager, or put in MLS. I was in the sellers team yesterday, and Wendy Matrenga, one of Bruce's on the team, was checking that old hard copy folder checklist, right? She'll be able to put that in there, boom, 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 and it'll almost populate itself. And how many days after 10 days when you do the inspection, and all of those things. Very fast and easy. Seamlessly submit your deal for compliance, and then it says coming soon, integration of commissions and document management. So we're all really poised to do our documents in there. And is there a video there?
It got corrupted.
Oh, okay. We'll have to post, there's kind of a fun video that we liked. Okay, somebody tell me about the Open House Network.
Puts on the houses. They had to do an open house
or want to do an open house? So if I want to do an open house, I could go in there and look, and if I want someone to hold an open house. And you can post your open house, and that is within your command group. So you have to get invited to it, is that right, Rhonda?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that I've gone through the list and invited everybody.
So if you guys aren't familiar with it, that's where we want to, put you all together in the same place when you want to do your open houses. When with sellers, somebody tell me what that means. Ever heard of it, ever been to it? When with sellers is a 2-day, Marty's doing a 1-day, so I've seen it with 1 day or 2 days, KWU Master Faculty class. So Marty is the one that came up and taught command. He's a productivity coach and leadership of KW, and he does When with Sellers training. And so what happens when they want to become MAPS coaches and master faculty is they've got to go do time and get their kind of like their hours of internship. And so he's been teaching When with Sellers for some time. That I got him to come for free again, drive all the way up here, charge us nothing. Last I heard, like the market center will absorb the cost of the materials. And that is it's an all-day class on listing and working with sellers, and it's amazing, and I've been to it before. And so that is a clear your calendar for it. It's 8:30 to 4:30.
It's fun.
I've been to it before.
Yeah.
I've never paid for it, so
Yeah.
this is awesome.
It's usually,
Awesome.
I think I've paid $300 for it
Yeah.
before.
Yeah.
And I'm bringing you a couple of things that, I almost sometimes think about I should charge, because that way you guys will realize how good it is. And this is just, and Marty also is getting nationally recognized for his command training. So he's working hard on some of his leadership stuff. So he'll be sprinkling in how to use this on your command as well. So it doesn't have to be a tech class, and it doesn't have to just be a language of sales class. It's everything. That'll be awesome, and that is September 18th. When is the bowling? September 19th? Day before the bowling. Okay, fierce conversations. Anybody know what this is?
You're fierce when you talk.
Who said that? Oh, Tiffany. So fierce conversations is another one that it costs $350. It's going to cost us more than that to bring it. And what I've been telling the agents, I have to have 15 people commit, and it is the person who teaches this is nationally recognized. She's a top of the MAPS coaches. She is certified to teach Fierce Conversations, and Fierce Conversations is not Keller Williams material. We had to buy the copyright. So it took them a long time to get certified and able to use it. That's why we have to pay for it. We don't own it. And then last year the copyright ended, so she had to go retrain for it. I mean, she is, I can't wait, and I've been trying to get her here for 2 years. That's how far in advance I've done this. So that one is October 17th. Yes, that's good. I'm so excited. And yes, it costs $350. So we're going to do some scholarships for anybody that says, man, I want to do it so bad, but I can't afford it. If you guys wanted to gift some scholarships, there's opportunity for that. And then I'll be working on sponsors. First, I have to get 15 people. And I've got some already signed up. And that would be amazing to somebody that could use it. So look into what it is. It's incredible. All right, so as Gary went in to talk about the state of the market, what this is some slides of the national market. I left Canada out, and this is your trends from 1989 to the latest numbers that they have in 2019. So the annual single-family home sales in millions. So you had like the high of 05, right? Then you had a crash where you had the low, and then you should start to expect a steady line. See how historically you'll have a steady line up. And then what they said during the crash is that the line kind of reset, okay? And then we've seen a little bit lower single-family home sales this year than the last couple of years. That has to do a little bit with inventory. So your home price has remained pretty steady and evened off a little bit. You don't ever want them to just keep rising, keep rising, keep rising. We've got about a 3% increase overall. And the Fed likes to keep that at around a 4% appreciation. So your year over year is expected to be around 4%. Right now we're seeing about a 3% nationally. And then in Texas we've held steady at our percentages of increases. So this line here is inventory. So as you look at 6 months of inventory, so every year, every time we talk about the KW stats, and I'm saying, is it a buyer's market or a seller's market? Is it a neutral market? 6 months of inventory, if no more houses were built and everyone sold every house that we have. So we're still remaining nationally, and you can see what ours locally is at about that 4 months, which is still, to Judy's question earlier, a seller's market. We're not seeing that shift to the buyer's market yet. Not even in the markets that have shifted, which Houston is still so strong. But we're still seeing, like I said earlier, not even a balanced market yet. We know that it doesn't last forever because of history, they'll go up and down. So that really steady market the last couple of years. Your mortgage rates, look how low the mortgage rates are. 3.8%. So what you'll see when they're this low, and they've really remained low for such a long time, is people will refinance. Somebody might even be taking a 5% loan and refinancing it right now and saving a couple hundred. So it's a great time to have conversations with your clients, whether they just bought a house a couple of years ago. You know, do you realize that mortgage rates are only 3.8? The unemployment, so unemployment is down to 3.7. It's basically historic unemployment, right? So as the elections come and go and the tariffs and whatever is going on, the unemployment rate will affect the economy more than anything else. When people have money, they spend it. When they have a fear of losing their job, they tighten up. The luxury market will stay strong they're watching all of these numbers as well. So this just all points to affordability for your clients. Anytime that starts to trickle back up, and here's the deal, they're compressing it, compressing it, compressing it. Gary talks about this in the video, so it is almost like a spring-loaded. It could fly pretty fast in the other direction should that start to happen. And as you watch it month after month, you can see it before it'll start to happen. But Gary basically said he thinks that the economy, even though they're telling us that a recession is coming, he's not expecting unless something strange happens. So your new construction, your new construction kind of leveled off and dropped back down. We're still seeing it in our area because we're in such an area of growth up in Lake Conroe area. And nationally, even though inventory is low, conditions are good. The new homes usually will come up and decline before the residential market of the resales. As you watch the new constructions, it's an indicator, like a pre-indicator of what the rest of the market will do. The builders will start to see their houses sitting. So right now they're still moving. Global real estate tech funding. So this is where, this was a big part of what Gary talked about in Mega Camp. And so as you guys hear about iBuyer and you talk about real estate tech funding. So here's what Gary said that he wanted us to understand. There's all of this money getting dumped into the market. And what I mean by that is venture capitalists he's talking about. And they're putting money into like Zillow and Amazon and all of the various things that you're hearing, iBuyer, all around the market of what this money is coming in the billions of dollars. Why? Because they see opportunity and it's money that's getting invested from all over the place. So he showed us from 2013 to 2018-19, about $15 billion have been put in to grab the consumer. And when you think about historically before, we didn't even have it really charted before because technology has caught up, exponentially. He probably said in the history, you hadn't had 15 billion, and then now that's come in. And we started to see a decline. So what Gary said was like basically the money that was being shuffled around and put in, and then now the chips have kind of fell, and who's standing is gonna stand now. And the players are here. So he wanted us to realize that you are in a very powerful next couple of years with technology of what's going to happen to the industry. It's an industry shift. So there's a book that Gary has said if you wanted to really understand what's happening with the fourth industrial revolution, meaning we knew about when the first, second, third industrial revolution happened, we're living in the fourth right now, and that is artificial intelligence. So what Command is an artificial intelligence specific to real estate. So all of the brokerages have different tech platforms, and that's nothing new. There's nothing new the fact that we have technology. It's that artificial intelligence integrated into our lives is what's new. And it's happening as we speak, like to all parts of the world, not just real estate. He just did one that's real estate specific. So you have your hardware and software plus your cloud is a commodity. Your fourth industrial revolution is your AI plus big data. What do you mean by big data? That's where you have enough information. Like Zillow, for example, they have some big data because they have so many users coming and they can see what they interact and behave. Keller Williams is another company that has big data. If you had like a small brokerage, say on a lake somewhere, well, they don't have any data, right? So another example would be is if you got on your phone and you were gonna Google to work. It knows how long it would take you to get to work because it's got so much data of traffic that it can predict where there's some traffic, it'll slow you down. And really, if you notice, your GPSs are pretty accurate on how long it's gonna take you to get there. So there's a book called Platform Revolution that Gary asked leadership to read probably a year ago. You can get it on Audible. It's called The Platform Revolution. If you will kind of check out that book, maybe even the cliff notes of it or listen to it, it really helps you to understand what a platform is versus what we're used to is a CRM. It's almost like your cell phone in a way is a platform housing all these apps. And then do your different apps integrate with each other? So he put it like this: platform confusion, platform in the past. So what we've had in the past is you had the agent. So the agent is purple. In the past, the platform was the connections, bolt-on of tech software. The tech was the platform. The approach created a ceiling for consumer experiences. So you had like say .loop and maybe your MLS, and you started out with no tech. Then the MLS came, and then you've got websites and you've got searches. And so really the fight for the consumer search, there's no money being poured into that. That is basically, they Google it and they search. There's really not a lot of opportunity for the money to find the consumer. They're going after different parts of the consumer experience. It's all about the consumer experience. So right now, say you have, I don't know, MLS. And then you go over to whatever technology you use in your entire business. They don't talk to each other. The agent's in the middle of it connecting, right? That's what we've been used to, and that's what most brokerages still have. Oops, sorry, hold on. Here's what the fourth industrial revolution will do. A tech platform is what you build on. The platform becomes the floor with endless consumer experience. So now the purple line, you'll have insurance, mortgage, consumer, agent, market center, which is your brokerage, and then your applications and dashboards, all seamless with one connected data, and then the artificial intelligence inside of it will understand where all of it is. So anybody used Keller Mortgage yet? We were kind of waiting for it to take place. So what's neat, for example, Keller Mortgage. And there's Keller Offers, and there's Keller Insurance. And why is Gary getting in all of that? It's so that your consumer experience, it's all for the consumer experience. The consumer, kind of like when you come to a builder, and they say, use our title company and you have incentives, and use our mortgage company and you have incentives. And why? They keep the whole experience in one place, and you don't get lost in the shuffle of, oh, that didn't close because. They're able to see what all is going on. So if you go right now on your app and you say, here's Keller Mortgage, and then now it'll say, hey Anna, so-and-so just applied. Hey Anna, so-and-so just got approved. And the artificial intelligence within that system will predict how soon before that will close, when they're gonna sell their house. There's all kinds of patterns that it's looking for. Once it's all integrated, it can see every level of the consumer.
So cool.
So that is what the platform means. It's not a CRM. It's an entire customer interface, really. And so you'll be able to see when your clients turn their documents in, when they went to underwriting, all those things. So the agents, the home buyers, sellers, the interaction, propriety insights, unique and better experiences. So really what Gary is saying, what he's been always saying it, but is it about giving the consumer more technology, more information? We understand that we're in an age where the consumer has as much information as we do usually. We're no longer the protector of the information, but the consumer and the reports say the consumer wants to have a great experience, and then the relationships with the technology. You have to, the people who are afraid and saying, I'm just gonna get out of business, I can't keep up. Well, that might be true, because the consumer expects to be able to get the information quickly, right?
Hey Anna,
Yes.
did Gary talk at all about other big brokerages that are trying to vie for that position as far as the technology goes that we have?
Well, it's not just brokerages. So the brokerages really, he believes the brokerages stand strong because we have the same goal, to keep the agents, to keep the consumers' relationships and the agents. So the fight within the brokerages, it depends on size. The smaller brokers, who's gonna have the hardest time. And then the people who want the agent out, like Amazon, Zillow, those, there's some other big names that are going, that we see all different ones in the country. iBuyer is here to stay. And so it's who's playing in that. There's a lot of venture capitalism going into that. Why? Because they're gonna get a piece of that money, and then that, all those ancillary businesses outside of it. So where the money is being dumped in right now, the brokerages are putting money into keeping up, that's for sure. But when we talk about 15 billion coming in from not brokers, they are catching the consumer, once they sell a house, like basically post-close, that's where most of the money, they see the biggest opportunity into post-close and when they will buy again. So like, we're pretty good as an industry, when we find the consumer, they're poised to buy or sell, and then they decide, you know, they do buy. And then how often do we know already? We are very bad in the next 6 to 7 years of staying in touch with them. That money is getting dumped into after you've closed and before you buy. And then the AI will see what the consumer is doing, and especially our AI, because it's real estate specific, and will predict when those people will move. Right now, the only prediction you've had of when people will move is really demographic information, how long have they owned it, you know, how big are their families. This will be search patterns, almost like when you search for shoes. All of a sudden, you see all these shoe ads. That's AI at work that is looking at behavior, seeing patterns. When people start to do this, all of a sudden the market changes. That's what it will do.
Did he discuss that there were any other firms though out there, the big brokerages that are, you know, developing the kind of?
Well, there was a whole thing on the state of the technology. So what Gary did when he hired our president, Josh, a couple of years ago, was say, okay, let's get on top of this before he's worried about the agent getting pushed out. And the other brokerages are still doing bolt-on. So you'll see a lot of the companies who do things, like say Dotloop, Zillow buying Dotloop. You're seeing a lot of that, and we're even doing it. We bought Smarter Agent. We've bought several things Keller Williams has. The people who are playing at that level are all fighting to stay in the consumers. It's really the consumer chooses. That's what the platform, if you guys look at that material, is the consumer has to use it, and once the consumer uses it, they'll tell you what they want. But what's nice about how Gary's doing it is he's testing it live, and you're not with a third party that doesn't even know anything about real estate. It's real agents really using it. So let's leave it at that, because I want to hear from Shelly, and I'll be bringing you more information as we go. But basically the gist of it is the economy itself is strong, and it's a great affordability index. Your local markets, I don't know if I have an area 19. Somebody look at your stats and tell me how you interpret that. So it looks like in area 19, you know, we go up to 800,000, but you'll see really still the almost 200,000, like this even goes from when you think about where area 19 is, but say you go, if you even found something 140, keep in mind that could be condos and things like that. And then your sweet spot really up to what, 500,000, your units sold, and then your days on market still within that 60-day range. That's a strong seller's market. And your inventory, so you had, remember when January was so slow, and we started to get worried that first quarter, and then we've got the summer months, obviously. Your month-to-month comparisons, your month supply is still a little down. Your inventory is always the key factor. How's the market? It's still a seller's market. We're still low on inventory. You're still seeing multiple offers. You're still going to for a while. Okay? So Shelly, I talked a little bit about market. I want to hear what you got from the cultural side, and I'm going to have Shelly speak.
You got me all excited about Mega Camp again.
I know.
Now my brain is going like, there's so much to share, but I'm going to be mindful of your time because I could talk for a long time, and I'm just going to breeze through a couple of points that I jotted down that I wanted to share with y'all. Most of my ahas, as Anna calls it, from Mega Camp aren't really ahas. I mean, they're kind of basic and foundational refreshers and reminders, you know, because we really don't have to, we don't have to create anything new. Everything we need to run our business and to build our business is here. I mean, Keller Williams has models and systems and all of that. So a lot of what I heard was also, you know, basic and foundational.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
Who has a white navigator? Navigator, like a navigator, no? No? Okay. There's just
I
need
have a white
cars
Cadillac.
too.
Sure, it's not Cadillac.
Mm.
I have a XT4, it's not a
Yeah, I know.
Navigator. Okay,
I'm parked on the street like everybody else.
yeah. I'm from the street. Okay, all right.
Thank you.
But Mega Camp, you know, it's inspiring and motivational to go to an event like that. I don't know how many of you have been to one, but if you need, you know, something kind of a shock to your system or to your business to get re-energized, that's really the place. You know, I've gone to family reunion and this was my second Mega Camp to go to. And so you get to hear a lot of stories and a lot of, from a lot of different agents who started out just like us and who have done unimaginable things and had extraordinary success with their business because of the systems and the models that they followed and that they really put into place for their business. So it's really good to go and just to really have your boundaries of your goals and your dreams stretched, you know, limiting beliefs removed for that little week that you're there, and then you come home and you got to fight to keep it. So that's kind of where I am now, you know, but it really helps you to believe that maybe I can do that. And I think that's one of the biggest things that I have to overcome is limiting beliefs in my own business. So a couple of things that I just wanted to share that I heard was the first one, it's not new. Again, it's no one succeeds alone, no one fails alone. This isn't new. It's really an overarching theme within Keller Williams and throughout Keller Williams. In fact, command, I mean, everything that Keller Williams does is, you know, to help us succeed. And because they're, you know, Gary's a team player. Everyone in Keller Williams is a team player, and they really care about the success of their agents. So it's a good reminder of the importance, not just of being a part of Keller Williams, but being a part of our market center, because, you know, we succeed together. So the second thing is the idea behind a database is customers for life. And again, this is not new or groundbreaking idea, but I did get a bit of revelation. So on this thought, customers for life, it equals business family. Our customers are our business family also. And it gives a new understanding to the term nurturing our database. How well are we nurturing our database? And how well are we communicating, staying in contact with them and training, taking good care of them. I attended a class called 13 Hacks to Sell 100 Units Per Year, and I want to do a version of that soon in the Market Center. He just had a lot of things that had worked well for his business, a lot of good ideas, a lot of hacks, and it was basically doing what we're already doing or should be doing, but with purpose. So for instance, with purpose and strategy. So every activity, every conversation, every closing, every contact, every social media post, we should have strategy behind that. And there's opportunity for future business in every single thing that we do, in every conversation that we have.
a Highlander.
So Josh Keene said, consumers don't want on-demand agents, and Anna kind of touched on this. They want on-demand information. And that's what Command is attempting to do for us. That's what Command is going to do for us. It has great potential if we use it consistently and correctly. And so Command is going to allow us the opportunity it's going to do a lot of things for us once we get everything in place and get everything set up. And it's going to allow us to focus on the person. And it's going to do a lot of the activities for us. So that's exciting. Give people a reason to want to work with you. Show them your value right away. So what is your distinguishing value? And again, these are all things that we have already talked about, but they were all good reminders and good refreshers for me, and I hope that they are to you. A couple other things. No matter how the leads get to you, the key is follow-up. Again, Command is going to help us with that. once we get everything in place. Set expectations for yourself. One of the speakers said, imagine playing a game of basketball without a scoreboard. For those of us who are competitive, or any kind of game, and not keeping score. I mean, I know we play stuff for fun, but running our business without having expectations or goals, it's like we're never gonna win. We're never gonna get to where we want to go because we don't really know where we want to go. We don't have a goal or plan. So set expectations for ourselves. I have lots more, but I'm going to stop there. I'm going to end.
To go a little longer.
Okay, so I'm going to end on culture. So I attended a culture class also, and I'm going to read some of my notes here. So I went in, it was actually a lab is what it was, because they are putting together a booklet on culture, and it's going to be, so this lady, her name is Shelly Lewis, and she's kind of helping oversee all of this. She was the speaker in the lab, or the facilitator, and she talked about how Keller Williams really changed her life, financially, personally, and spiritually. And I can relate to that because Keller Williams really has changed my life. It has improved my life, enhanced my life this next season. So I was a stay-at-home mom for 23 years, most of you know. It kind of shifted into my first career. A lot of people have a midlife crisis. I'm going to have midlife success, I've determined. And so my shift is going to look, I'm being purposeful and strategic with this season of my life. And so I can relate to how Keller Williams has changed my life financially. I was making $0, and I'm making a lot more money than I could have at any other job that I could have gotten. And so that's super exciting. And okay, back to my notes here. So they're doing putting together a new course, and it's almost finished. It's actually a booklet. It's like 57 to 58 pages. And it's going to be available to teach in our market center. So for new agents coming in, it'll be an actual course. Like I think she said it's going to be about an hour and a half is what they're thinking it can be taught in. And it can be taught on a monthly basis, not only to new agents, but also to us as refreshers, because I'm co-facilitator of our culture committee, but there's so much that I still don't really understand or don't really get about it. And so it was really exciting to hear them just kind of reiterate the values and the beliefs about Keller Williams. Why are we here? And that's one of the things that brought me to Keller Williams. There are a ton of other real estate companies. Number one, Dawn Johnson is one of my best friends. So she was like, hey, come on over. And I said, okay. So that helps. But also I was like, well, what is Keller Williams? And, God, family, business. I'm like, okay, that got my attention because God is a big part of my life. And so it's just, there's so much to Keller Williams culture, and we haven't even really tapped into it in our market center, really. We've talked about it, we have it hanging on our wall, but I'm excited about what we can do with the culture and the culture that we can bring to the office. And they were talking about being, don't be a victim, be accountable. And I'm taking full responsibility for my part in where the culture has kind of went like this, And so, but I'm excited about what I can do, what my part can be to help build the culture and to really create unity in our office. And I'm excited to talk to our culture committee. We're meeting next Wednesday. Y'all are all invited. We meet once a month, and we always have food. So we have brunch. We eat somewhere. You pay for your own brunch. And then we discuss ideas and concerns, even, whatever's going on that we feel like we need to talk about. So this new course is going to be, so it's still in labs. It's going to be available possibly in the last quarter, so maybe very soon. It's called 5 Steps to Culture, Building a Business with Heart. So anybody can build a business, right? There are lots of businesses out there. But to have a business with heart is really what sets us apart. And again, that's a part of the Keller Williams culture. So some of the things, my numbers are crazy on here. I wasn't a very good note taker. Like I was just jotting things down, and there's so much, I'll just read through some of this. making culture the foundation of our business. And you know, even for me personally, so our market center and then each one of our businesses personally, I want culture to be the foundation of my business. You know,
Well,
I
that was
don't,
one thing that was so interesting about listening to all of the mega agents up there on stage.
Yeah.
They all talked about culture
yeah,
of their own teams.
yeah. And I was listening to, I don't know if all of you know Gary and Jay have the new podcast called Think Like a CEO. So I was listening to that on the way in this morning, and they were kind of talking about that as well. They were talking about how, I just lost my train of thought. But they were talking about, you know, how, and actually Jenny was talking about this too on Facebook, Your Journey with Jenny. She's a mega agent out of Oklahoma. And she was talking about the difference from being an entrepreneur and just really moving into, you know, becoming purposeful in culture and in building your business and really running your business like a business, but a business with heart. And so, again, it's talking about making culture the foundation of our business, getting to the heart of culture. And they had 3 questions under this section. It said, do you care about me? Can I trust you? And can you help me? So not only for our clients thinking, you know, do you care about me, or are you just out to make some money? You know, can you really help me? And can I trust you? And so I think that's an important part of our market center as well. For us, you know, building unity within each other. Can we trust each other? Can we help each other? You know, and do we really care about each other? And why are we in business? And they talked about the mission, the vision, values, belief, and perspective. You know, we're not just building businesses, we're building careers worth having. Vision is to be the real estate company of choice for agents and their customers. Our values, God, family, business. Beliefs, that's the Y long number. Yeah, Y14C2TS, win-win or no deal, integrity, perspective, all of that. And I want to memorize that. You know, you might think that's silly, but I want to know all of that. I want to be able to have a conversation with someone and just explain that really easily.
Well, in the podcast, the Think Like a CEO podcast, Gary and Jay talked about how the Y4C2Ts happened was Gary got all of the kind of the leadership agents together at the time, and he made a big wall of sticky notes kind of, and said, what do we stand for? What do we believe in? Who are we? And that kind of came into all those categories that turned into the belief system.
Yep, they were
that the
actually
agents
talking
wanted.
about that this morning. And he was talking about how, you know, how this is kind of getting off on a rabbit trail, but he was talking about how he kind of has come back in, you know, and taken over the reins again. And he said part of that, you know, there's a book called The Innovator's Dilemma, and it's about how when something works so well and you experience this huge measure of success, which they have, but how what got you there won't get you here. And so that's kind of all of this stuff that they've been working on, you know, command and all of that, how I know it can seem frustrating, the change and having to do this or do something new, but really, you know, what has gotten us to this point, if we don't change our businesses, you know, we may stay the same, but if we want growth, we're gonna have to really tap into this. And so that's why he kind of came back in, because he saw that, you know, that change and realized that what they had done up to this point wasn't going to take them to the next level of success. And they were willing to make that investment for the agents, the Keller Williams agents. And that's just so exciting to me, just the amount of research and money and work that they're putting into this to help us to build our businesses. And I don't know about any other real estate companies, because this is the only one that I've ever been with. And I'm like, well, why would I leave? You know, I just feel like they're investing so much in our businesses that there's, you know, again, the difference between being an entrepreneur and becoming purposeful in building your business. So you can start a business anywhere, but in order to build and to grow, I feel like, you know, it's about depth also. So it's about really digging into where you are and using the tools that they're providing for us to become, to really get us to that next level of business instead of starting over every few years. What do we have here that we can capitalize on and really become, or reach our potential? I mean, really our potential, it's unlimited. I mean, just to go and to hear, like I said, those agents who really have had such extraordinary success, and to know that, yeah, that's within our reach. That is within our reach. And one of the big things that Gary, or that kind of a lot of people talked about, was you can give a man a fish or you can, teach him to fish. And we've heard that over and over forever. And, he said, if you want to empower people, teach them to do it for themselves. Give them the tools and teach them to do it for themselves. And that's what they're doing. So it's exciting. Okay, back to culture.
Well, Shelly, did you go to a class called Porch?
Yeah, so side note again, there are so many things within Command that they are still working on. One of them is the iBuyer, so it's called Keller Offers. That's going to be super cool. So what they're trying to do is, no buyer is the same, no seller is the same, and they want to have some value for every consumer, for every client. And some people, the iBuyer is very attractive to them. They don't want their houses to be put on the market. They don't want to go through the showings. They don't want to have open houses. They don't want to have to pack up their stuff and make it show ready. And so the iBuyer idea is very attractive to them.
How does it work?
And so I just heard a little bit on it. The class, both of the classes were full, like people were rushing in there. So,
Well, and I went over that last week.
oh, okay. So, all of the logistics on that, we'll get more information on that soon. But it's an iBuyer program where they're going to actually, purchase. The commission is different, of course, because you're not doing everything. And then when you resell, but you'll be in on the buying and also whenever they put it back on the market. So that's super exciting. And then the Porch is also, I'm super excited about that. So Porch is actually the first app that's going to be integrated into Command, or third party. I can't remember what's on. I'm not techie, so, if I say something that doesn't make sense, just ignore it. But the idea is, so what it is, it's another company that is being integrated into Command, and it's a service. So whenever we get our home inspection reports, they will take those and do an estimate of repairs. Normally we have to pay someone else to do that. So Keller Williams is paying for that for us. Unless we want a rush like with that. I think we get the time frame is like within 48 hours they can have it for us. And what it is, I saw a report and I should have brought it. I'll bring it to the office. So it has it has a column for individual repairs. So it takes what's on the inspection report and it prices them out individually according to, I don't know how they get the local averages or is for cost and repairs. And they also group them together. So if you were to do like all the electrical, this would be an estimate. And if you were to do all the plumbing, and things like that. And then, so we can provide that to our clients, and it's going to help us in negotiating and, in our option period and things like that. They also have national contractors and handymen and things like that. So I don't know all of that information. So I don't know if they will have people that we can just kind of click on and use them, or I don't know how that's going to work. Heath is shaking his head at me, so I'm going to stop. I think I've reached my limit of knowledge on that subject.
If you guys want, I can do a portrait.
Yeah, but I'm super excited about it. I don't know everything about it, but I'm excited.
Basically, they're going to be able to get loans for the repairs.
Okay, awesome. Well, that's exciting. So, okay.
Renovation.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. So there's just, it's just everything, like every part of a transaction from start to finish, they're trying to make it as seamless and, to provide as much value as possible for us to provide that value for our clients. And they are doing a phenomenal job, let me tell you. There's so much, I can't even wrap my brain around it. So culture, that's gonna be super excited. I'm excited to get that into our market center and just to kind of, to learn that and to retrain on that soon. So, Craig's already talked about the bowling. Culture committee, like I said, we're meeting next Wednesday. You know, we need your input as a market center. What are your ideas? What are some things that you think would create, you know, culture, a stronger sense of feeling within our office? Just really unify us as, you know, I say team, it's not really a team, but this is my team. You guys are all my team. And so what are some things, ideas for events or gatherings, or we'll be discussing I have a lot of other new ideas and things that we'll be discussing next week at our culture committee. But if you, that I learned at, some things that were brought up at Maker Camp. So if you have any ideas, just let us know, or come and join us. So I'm gonna read one thing just to close. I'm going to read this book. I posted this in our culture. We have a Facebook group for our culture committee, and so sometimes I post stuff. They probably get annoyed at me for posting so much, but I'm also I like to encourage people and to inspire people. So this was really, really good. So just thinking about everything that we've talked about this morning, everything that you know, command is going to do for us, it's all going to require action on our part. Okay, we can think of ideas, we can hear about exciting things, we can listen to testimonies, but unless we put action to what we've heard and what we've learned, it's not going to make a difference in our business. Anna can provide training for us. You know, Rhonda can help us with whatever, Heath can help us, Earl can help us. You know, we can provide all of these things and we can stay the same. Or we can take what we've been given and we can be our very best. And that's so exciting. That's exciting. So this is called I'm a Person of Action. This is a declaration. This is by Andy Andrews. I love him. He's written The Traveler's Gift. I don't know if y'all read that, one of my favorite books. But this one's called The 7 Decisions. And this is called The Active Decision. So it says, I'm a person of action. Beginning today, I will create a new future by creating a new me. No longer will I dwell in a pit of despair, moaning over squandered time and lost opportunity. I can do nothing about the past. My future is immediate. I will grasp it in both hands and carry it with running feet. When I am faced with the choice of doing nothing or doing something, I will always choose to act. I seize this moment. I choose now. I am a person of action. I am energetic. I move quickly. Knowing that laziness is a sin, I will create a habit of lively behavior. I will walk with a spring in my step and a smile on my face. The lifeblood rushing through my veins is urging me upward and forward into activity and accomplishment. Wealth and prosperity hide from the sluggard, but rich rewards come to the person who moves quickly. I am a person of action. I inspire others with my activity. I am a leader. Leading is doing. To lead, I must move forward. Many people move out of the way for a person on the run. Others are caught up in his wake. My activity will create a wave of success for the people who follow. My activity will be consistent. This will instill confidence in my leadership. As a leader, I have the ability to encourage and inspire others to greatness. It is true, an army of sheep led by a lion would defeat an army of lions led by a sheep. I'm a person, and you know, all of us are leading someone. We're all leading them somewhere. I'm a person of action. I can make a decision. I can make it now. A person who moves neither left nor right is destined for mediocrity. When faced with a decision, many people say they are waiting for God. But I understand in most cases, God is waiting for me. He has given me a healthy mind to gather and sort information and the courage to come to a conclusion. I'm not a quivering dog, indecisive and fearful. My constitution is strong and my pathway clear. Successful people make their decisions quickly and change their minds slowly. Failures make their decisions slowly and change their minds quickly. My decisions come quickly and they lead to victory. I'm a person of action. I'm daring, I'm courageous. Fear no longer has a place in my life. For too long, fear has outweighed my desire to make things better for my family. Never again. I have exposed fear as a vapor an imposter who never had any power over me in the first place. I do not fear opinion, gossip, or the idle chatter of monkeys, for all are the same to me. I do not fear failure, for in my life, failure is a myth. Failure exists only for the person who quits. I do not quit. I am courageous. I'm a leader. I seize this moment. I choose now. So, I'm going to put this in a PDF also and upload it to the page. So, I think it's so good. I think it's perfect timing for right where we are. I think we need to be people of action. I'm committing to be a person of action. I'm getting back into Ninja tomorrow. So I'm excited about that and hope to see some of y'all there as well. Thank you for sharing.
Okay, guys, have a great week, and I guess it's like kind of midweek already, but go take a look at inventory, go look at your community. This is a great builder in a great area.